Hello, this is Pastor Brian Anderson with another daily devotion, and we are in Matthew chapter 10. We're going to be looking through verses 16 to 42. And in this section, Jesus is giving his disciples instructions as to what they must be willing to endure in order to serve him faithfully. Let me just give you a sampling of some of the verses in this section. So verses 17 and 18, Jesus says, "But beware of men, for they will hand you over to the courts and scourge you in their synagogues, and you will even be brought before governors and kings for my sake, as a testimony to them and to the Gentiles." And then in verse 21, "Brother will betray brother to death, and a father his child, and children will rise up against parents and cause them to be put to death." Verse 22, "You will be hated by all because of my name, but it is the one who has endured to the end who will be saved." Verse 28, "Do not fear those who kill the body, but are unable to kill the soul, but rather fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in hell." Verse 32 and 33, "Therefore everyone who confesses me before men, I will also confess him before my Father who is in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, I will also deny him before my Father who is in heaven." Then verses 34 to 36, "Do not think that I came to bring peace on the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I came to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's enemies will be the members of his own household." Verses 37 to 39, "He who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he who loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me, and he who does not take up his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He who has found his life will lose it, and he who has lost his life for my sake will find it." So what's the bottom line of all of these instructions from Jesus Christ? I think the bottom line is all who would faithfully follow Jesus must be prepared to be hated, they must be prepared to suffer, and they must be prepared to die in his service. They must not fear those who can only kill the body, but can't kill the soul. Rather, they must fear God, who is able to cast both soul and body into hell. Now, when we look at these instructions, we're going, wow, American Christianity today is totally out of step with the instructions Jesus seems to be giving to his disciples here. And I think that's because here in America, in the 21st century and the 20th century, we've lived in sort of a protective bubble. We have not faced serious miserable persecution as we faithfully sought to live out our faith. The persecution we faced is fairly mild, but what we've experienced is not normal. It's abnormal compared to what Christians, faithful Christians, have had to experience throughout all of church history. So may God prepare us to live for Christ faithfully, especially if he calls upon us to be hated, to suffer, or to die for his sake. May God inspire and motivate and encourage you for the days to come, because the days that we've faced in the past may be nothing to what we may be called upon to face in the future.